Welcome to the SABC News COVID-19 Global Wrap. I am Busisiwa Khatebe. This week, I bring you highlights of news which dominated headlines with regards to the coronavirus pandemic. But before we delve into it, let us have a look at some global stats. The world currently sits at over 24.6 million confirmed cases, with more than 17 million recoveries and over 835,000 deaths. South Africa's COVID-19 infections stand at over 618,000 confirmed cases, with over 531,000 recoveries and over 13,600 deaths. In South Africa, healthcare workers at Tygerberg Hospital in Cape Town are wearing modified snorkel masks to help keep them safe from COVID-19. The masks are modified by removing the snorkel and then adding an adapter and a breathing filter, which filters out the COVID virus and thereby protecting the healthcare worker. 4 more airports have opened for domestic travel under South Africa's lockdown Level 2 restrictions. Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula made the announcement this week, adding Mthatha Airport in the Eastern Cape, Woodspruit Airport and Phalaborwa Airport in Limpopo, and Margate Airport in KwaZulu-Natal to the opened airports. On to the rest of Africa. The continent has now recorded over 1.2 million confirmed COVID-19 cases with over 957,000 recoveries, and the death toll stands at 28,910. The United Nations family, inclusive of the World Health Organization, UNICEF, UN Technology Bank, and the World Bank have joined hands to assist Lesotho's frontline workers with the crucial personal protective equipment amounting to 8 million rand. And lastly, Kenya's president extended a nationwide curfew for another 30 days on Wednesday, explaining that COVID-19 cases were on the rise in areas outside the capital. Uhuru Kenyatta also ordered bars and nightclubs to shut for another 30 days, but increased the number of people allowed to attend weddings, funerals, and other events. And in international news, the World Health Organization reiterated its advice on Thursday that, resources permitting, people exposed to the novel coronavirus should be tested even if they do not show immediate symptoms of infection. In the United States, Black communities have been disproportionately affected by COVID-19, with African Americans accounting for 3 out of every 4 deaths in some parts of the country. Health officials say living conditions and working in essential frontline jobs puts them at greater risk.
They had public-facing positions that meant that they were more likely to be exposed to the virus. They didn't have the appropriate level of health care to assure that if they did get sick, that they'd be taken care of. And they often returned to homes that were 3 generations of folk living together, frequently overcrowded.
Meanwhile, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said that people who are exposed to COVID-19 but are not symptomatic may not need to be tested, sparking outcry among officials and experts who fear the changed guidance was politically motivated. Health experts have warned there could be another surge in cases across the United States as schools reopen and colder weather forces more gatherings indoors. Moderna Inc. said on Wednesday its experimental COVID-19 vaccine induced immune responses in older adults similar to those in younger participants, offering hope that it will be effective in people considered to be at high risk for severe complications from the coronavirus. The company is one of the leading contenders in the race to develop a vaccine against the virus that has killed more than 820,000 people worldwide. Its candidate, mRNA-1273, is already in late-stage human trials testing its ability to safely prevent infections. In Latin America, Brazil has asked Chinese authorities to provide results of laboratory tests that detected traces of the novel coronavirus on chicken wings exported by the South American country, according to a statement sent to Reuters by Brazil's Agriculture Ministry on Wednesday. The alleged contamination led the Philippines to impose a temporary ban on poultry meat imports from Brazil. And lastly, in Europe, Britain will pay low-income residents to self-isolate if they have confirmed or suspected COVID-19 as government steps up measures to keep the virus under control. The new policy comes after opposition politicians called on government to introduce the payments amid concerns that some people who cannot afford to take time off work were avoiding complying with the health advice. Poland will shorten its quarantine period for those suspected of being infected with COVID-19 to 10 days from 14 days, the health minister said. And in France, police said that face masks must be worn everywhere in Paris from Friday morning in order to curb a surge in COVID-19 infections. The measure applies to all pedestrians as well as cyclists in Paris and its suburbs. For the latest updates on the coronavirus, visit sabcnews.com.